Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, you just can't control the situation? No matter what you do, she still doesn't change her attitude towards you. It seems like every time you try to make her happy, she only becomes more distant. You feel like you're stuck in a vicious cycle, where each action you take doesn't seem to change anything. Does this sound familiar? Many men find themselves in this situation without realizing that they are making a major mistake in their approach to relationships. They don't see that the more they chase, the more they show affection and concern, the more it makes her feel like you are too easy to get. And when she knows that you're always there for her, she no longer values your presence. She knows she can have you anytime without any worries. And this makes her feel like there's no need to put in effort to keep you in her life. It may seem unfair, but this is the truth in any relationship. When you make her the center of your world, you unintentionally diminish your own attraction in her eyes. You become predictable and easy to get. This can make her feel bored and lose interest in you. Yes, when everything becomes too easy, it loses its value and no longer excites or attracts her. And the more you try, the more distant she becomes. So if you've done everything you can and she still pulls away, could it be that you're doing something wrong? The answer is yes. You've given her everything she needs without leaving any mystery. You've placed her on a pedestal and made her the center of your universe. And now, she no longer feels the need to try to keep you. But there's one thing I want you to understand. I'm not advising you to treat her badly or to intentionally ignore her presence. Doing so will only make you look foolish. Yes, I want you to understand that sometimes your absence can be a very powerful thing. You don't always have to react immediately or respond to messages right away. Sometimes, silence is exactly what you need to draw attention. When you're always on standby, always responding quickly, always eager to help, you become too easy, and she won't appreciate that. In fact, if you become too easy to get, you'll turn into a predictable person, and that takes away the fun and allure. Women are always drawn to what's unknown, to mysteries. And when you are no longer a mystery, you lose your charm. So what happens when you decide to change, when you start to pull back a little? She will start missing you. It's natural. The fear of loss will creep into her mind. As humans, we tend to value what we might lose. When you are no longer easy to get, she will see you as more mysterious, and mystery is always enticing. Additionally, by stopping the pursuit, you also regain control over your own emotions. You are no longer a man dependent on her feelings, but a man of value. And when you recognize your own worth, you will naturally become more attractive, not just in her eyes, but in the eyes of everyone around you. Confidence comes from knowing your own value, and that's what others will pick up on. This may seem difficult to grasp at first, but the truth is that when you stop living for others and start living for yourself, you will see a major shift in how she perceives you. When you no longer cling to her, when you no longer do everything for her, you become a challenge for her. And in the world of attraction, a man who becomes a challenge is impossible to resist. A man who is not dependent on a woman is a very attractive man. When you start living for yourself, developing yourself, and focusing on your personal goals, you'll notice that she starts to view you differently. You are no longer a burden. You become a man of value, and she will see you as a challenge she cannot resist. I know this may be a big step for you, but if you truly want to change how she sees you, if you want to create attraction in your relationship, you need to learn how to become the man every woman desires, the man who doesn't beg, who isn't afraid of loss, and who knows his own worth. So will you choose to live in dependence and despair, or are you ready to change and take control of your life? This decision is entirely up to you. If you've understood what I've shared, let me know by leaving a comment saying I'm ready. And if you want to continue receiving valuable insights on how to attract and maintain a relationship, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, because this is just the beginning. When you begin to focus on yourself and stop chasing her desperately, the magic starts to happen. She will no longer feel like you're too predictable or too easy to get. On the contrary, she will feel that you are growing, that you are busy with your life, and that you don't rely on her presence to feel happy or valuable. This is one of the things women can't resist. To be more precise, when you stop chasing her, you create space for yourself and also give her space to think about you. Because people always cherish what they might lose, your absence will create a void that she will feel the need to fill. When you're no longer constantly texting, calling, or waiting for her, you become an indispensable part of her life that she can't easily ignore. One of the key things you need to understand is that true attraction doesn't come from always being by her side, making her feel that you're always ready to help or fulfill all her needs. True attraction comes from being an independent man with your own life, goals, passions, and ambitions. You don't need to depend on her to feel valuable. It's your independence and self-control in your own life that makes her feel drawn to you. So, how can you become the man she finds irresistible? The key is to stop begging for her attention and instead focus on becoming the best version of yourself. When you start focusing on self-development, you not only become more attractive in her eyes, but you also become the kind of man anyone would want in their life. In fact, when you live for yourself, you'll feel more free and confident. You no longer feel like you need to be present at every moment of her life. You're no longer a man desperate, anxious about how to make her love you. Instead, you become a man busy with your own life, with your own goals and dreams. When you have a full and exciting life, she feels your absence, and that will pique her interest. She will begin to notice the changes in you. You're no longer the man she can predict. You become a challenge she can't resist. This is a crucial shift many men fail to recognize. When you begin to show confidence and independence, you become a woman's unmissable challenge. Challenges always stimulate curiosity and desire, and this change will help you create a deeper, more sustainable relationship. So, when you stop chasing her and start living for yourself, you'll create a big shift in this relationship. You won't be the man begging, always craving her attention. Instead, you'll become the one she finds intriguing and wants to pursue. And when you no longer have to try so hard to get her attention, you'll see yourself becoming the man she can't take her eyes off. One of the most powerful elements of attraction is confidence and independence. Women, just like men, are attracted to those who know their own worth and have a fulfilling life. You're not someone who depends on her to feel happy. You're not someone who fears losing her. This confidence and independence will make you a highly attractive man. Therefore, focus on developing yourself, setting your own goals, and becoming the best version of yourself. She will notice and appreciate that. When you no longer chase her, you won't feel like you're begging for affection from anyone. You'll feel free and in control of the situation. And that's when you truly become the man she can't resist. You become a man of value, one that she can't ignore. Remember, when you live for yourself, you not only attract her, but also create new opportunities in your life. You start to attract those around you, not just her but others in your life too. The change in you won't only affect this relationship, but it will change your life in a more positive direction. So don't be afraid of change. Don't be afraid to let go a little and start living for yourself. When you do, you'll realize that she starts to see you differently, and you'll begin to control the situation instead of always feeling like you're losing control. This not only helps you have a better relationship, but also helps you become the man that everyone around you respects and admires. Be the man you deserve to be. Live your life and let everything come naturally. When you truly value yourself, you'll see that everything else will follow, and she will begin to see you the way you've always wanted. When you realize that you've done everything possible and still have no results, that's when you need to change your approach. It's not that you're doing something wrong. It's that you're trying too hard and not fully understanding the psychology and motivations of the woman in your life. This doesn't mean that you don't care about her or don't love her. It simply means you need to change your method so that this relationship can truly be valuable and lasting. Rest assured, you're not the only one in this situation. Many men, despite having good intentions, unintentionally fall into the trap of trying too hard. They think that their love and care will be the solution to everything, but in reality, It's the opposite. The more you chase and show affection, the more you lose value in her eyes. This isn't because she doesn't love you, but because the neediness and predictability have taken away your natural attraction. When you're too available, imagine a situation where you're always in a ready state. You're always quick to respond, always trying to please her, always waiting for her requests to be fulfilled immediately. Even though you may think you're building a healthy, trustworthy relationship, in reality, you're becoming a man without mystery and without challenge. She knows she can rely on you at any time, and that, even though no one says it, will make her feel a lack in the relationship. One of the key principles in maintaining attraction in a relationship is mystery. Mystery doesn't mean you hide things, don't share your feelings, or become distant, but rather that you know how to create intrigue and challenge. She needs to feel that you're a man who's hard to get, someone who's not willing to fall into her lap easily. When you start showing that you can live without depending on her, your attraction will increase in ways you can't imagine. Confidence and independence. When you stop begging for her attention and start focusing on developing yourself, you will not only change the way she perceives you, but also the way you perceive yourself. Confidence and independence in your thinking will help you become the man every woman wants to be with. You will no longer be the man who needs her to feel happy, but rather the man she desires because you bring value to yourself. When you stop depending on her emotions to feel happy, you begin to find joy and fulfillment in other areas of your life, work, personal hobbies, self-development, and other relationships. You will no longer be bound by the expectations you place on this relationship, and this will create space for both of you to grow naturally, without forcing it. She will sense the change in you. She will realize that you are a man of value, with a separate and exciting life. When you are no longer so easy to get, she will feel a natural urge to learn more about you, to fill the gap that you've created. And in her mind, you become a challenge she can't resist, the challenge in the relationship. When you stop chasing her, you will no longer be a man who is easily predictable. She will begin to see you as a challenge. And this doesn't just affect how she's attracted to you, but it also increases your value in the eyes of everyone around you, the challenge in the relationship. When you no longer depend on anyone to feel valued, you automatically create a level of respect and admiration from others. This is especially important in your relationship. She will feel drawn to your confidence and will recognize that you are a man of worth. We tend to appreciate the things we can't easily obtain. When you become a man who isn't easy to get, you create curiosity, a feeling that she needs to work for your affection. And this will increase the attraction in your relationship. This doesn't mean you have to become cold or distant, but it does mean that you won't always be available when she needs you, and you won't always be waiting for her attention. The balance between care and not begging. One of the key factors in maintaining a relationship is balance. You can't be too indifferent or cold, but you also can't be begging for her attention and affection. There needs to be a balance between caring for her and keeping your own space. You can care for her and spend time with her, but you can't do everything for her. When you find this balance, you will notice that your relationship becomes more natural. You won't feel like you have to do something to keep her around. You won't feel pressured to constantly show care to receive affection in return. Instead, you will know that she's with you because she wants to be, and that's the most important thing. Creating space for both of you. Everyone needs their own space to grow. When you start focusing on your personal development, you create space for both you and her to grow freely. This doesn't mean completely separating, but rather not making her the entire focus of your life. The relationship will thrive when both of you have independence and can contribute to each other without feeling constrained or dependent. This space also allows both you and her to feel more comfortable when you're together. Neither of you will feel suffocated or controlled. You won't have to worry about how to make her love you, and she won't feel pressured to meet all of your expectations. When you start shifting your mindset and stop pursuing her the old way, you'll notice changes not only in her feelings, but also in how you view yourself. One key thing you need to understand is that when you become the man she needs to earn rather than the one she can easily get, you'll open up a whole new world in this relationship. The journey to building confidence. To change how she perceives you, you need to start by rebuilding your own confidence. Confidence isn't something you can fake or create overnight. It must be built through specific actions, by changing how you see yourself and how you treat yourself. When you focus on self-development, you don't just make yourself more attractive in her eyes, but in the eyes of everyone around you. A confident man is someone who doesn't need validation from others to feel valuable. He lives with his own goals and meaning, and this naturally makes him attractive. In fact, when you become a confident and independent person, you won't need to do anything special to attract her attention or anyone else's. She will be naturally drawn to what you express. That is your confidence and respect for yourself. This doesn't mean you have to be perfect or without flaws. In fact, confidence comes from accepting yourself, loving what you have, and being unafraid to change to become a better version of yourself every day. When you recognize your worth, you no longer feel the need to prove yourself to anyone. She will notice this change in you, and this is one of the strongest factors in attraction. Stop chasing. Why is this important? Many men think that if they continue to chase, continue showing interest, she will eventually respond to their feelings. But in reality, when you become the man who is always easily available, you no longer create excitement or attraction in her eyes. She knows she can have you anytime, and that diminishes your value in her eyes. Attraction doesn't come from constantly chasing, always being by her side, and never having space. In fact, when you are no longer around all the time, you become something missing that she needs to seek out. Sometimes, your absence will create a void that she will feel the need to fill. This helps you become a challenge, a mystery she can't easily obtain. And it's this challenge that will increase her desire for you. If you feel like you've done everything you can, but still aren't getting a response, don't give up on the relationship. Instead, reconsider how you approach it and adjust your actions. Sometimes, you just need to take a step back to see things more clearly and understand that true attraction doesn't come from chasing her, but from knowing how to value yourself. Creating space and freedom. One thing you need to understand when you stop chasing is creating space for both of you. Every relationship needs personal space to grow. Both you and she need time and space to develop individually, focus on your own goals, and continue your journey without being bound to one another. When you're always available and present, you may inadvertently make her feel trapped. On the other hand, when you create space and time for yourself, she will feel your absence and be inclined to reconnect with you. This is when the challenge and attraction begin to emerge. You are no longer an easy man to get, and that makes her feel she needs to put in effort to keep you around. The space isn't about being cold or ignoring her. It's about independence, about not letting her be the center of your life. When you're not around all the time, she will feel your absence and start paying more attention to you. Creating challenge and mystery. When you stop chasing her and begin to have your own life, you become a challenge in her eyes. Women, just like men, are attracted to the unknown, to things that might be lost. When you become a part of her life that isn't easy to get, she will feel curiosity and want to know more about you. You become someone she can't predict, and that makes you an essential part of her life. This challenge doesn't mean you have to become distant or cold. You don't need to avoid her, but instead, learn how to create unpredictability, a bit of mystery. When you don't make her feel like she can have you at any time, you create desire and drive the pursuit in this relationship. This is something many men don't realize. They think that by constantly chasing and showing affection, the relationship will progress. But in reality, they are diminishing their initial attraction. When you become a challenge that she has to make an effort to understand and conquer, you become irresistible. Giving the gift of absence. There's a wonderful gift you can give her, your absence. You don't need to always be present in every situation or always be ready to help her. When you learn how to create absence naturally and effortlessly, you become a mystery in her eyes, and mystery is something irresistible. This doesn't mean you have to be completely distant or cold. You can still care and share precious moments with her, but the absence in moments when she least expects it is what you need to create for her to realize your value. She will begin to long for your presence, and this will drive her to see you in a completely different light. When you truly understand and apply these principles in your life, your relationship will undergo a significant transformation. The change doesn't just come from what you do to impress her, but from how you learn to value yourself, create independence, and develop an unshakable confidence in this relationship. You are no longer the desperate man seeking validation from her, but the strong, self-sufficient, and valuable man. The strategies you apply, from creating mystery, not always being there when she needs you, to focusing on personal development and living for yourself, will not only change how she sees you, but will also change you. You will become the man she desires, and more importantly, you will start seeing yourself with a new perspective, more confident in your own worth. This change may not happen immediately, but be patient. Relationships don't evolve in an instant. They require time to adapt to changes in mindset and behavior. But when you truly begin to value yourself, when you live your own life without relying on her acceptance or affection, you'll notice that your relationship will become stronger than ever. The important thing is that when you stop chasing her, you no longer appear weak in her eyes, but instead a man who is independent, magnetic, and irresistible. And that is the true power in this game of attraction. So if you are ready for change, if you want to take control of your life and this relationship, start today. Don't let anything hold you back from becoming the man you deserve to be. The question is, are you ready? If you are, step outside, start changing your mindset, and live the life you've always dreamed of. Everything will change from you. Don't forget to share your story, share your transformation, help others experience this change as well. And if you feel these principles are helpful, don't hesitate to subscribe to receive more strategies, methods, and lessons on how to build a lasting and successful relationship. With these first steps, you are laying the foundation for a meaningful life, not only in love but in all your relationships. Change starts with you, and when you change how you see yourself, you will automatically attract the good things in your life. Good luck on your journey of self-development and in your relationship.